Or if you tend towards cynicism or skepticism, you might wonder, is everything about Epstein and his powerful male friends, is that coming out? That remains to...
With a laugh.
Actually, I think we're out of time. I was going to ask nothing more to say about what people said about who your father, your biological father.
I don't know who my daddy is, I guess.
Yes,
I
you
don't know.
do. Be back, Chloe, thanks.
For a long time, it felt like the Epstein saga had been sealed shut. Another grim story involving wealth, influence, and silence, quietly archived by the powerful. Most people assumed it was over, forgotten, but recent unsealed documents have shifted that belief. Hidden among the names was one that didn't shock because it was unbelievable. It shocked because it suddenly made too much sense. Paris Hilton's name has re-entered the conversation, not as a distant association, but as someone reportedly positioned within Epstein's inner world. And according to long-circulating whispers, this connection may not have been accidental. Some claims suggest her family was aware and possibly complicit in allowing her proximity to that environment. This isn't about resurfaced photos or recycled tabloid rumors. It's about an ongoing structural protection, one that still shields certain names from scrutiny. With legal pressure quietly building, attention is now turning toward powerful figures once considered untouchable.
Until now.
The Justice Department has finally released some of the highly anticipated Epstein files. More than 300,000 pages of documents related to the late convicted offender were made public today. They include photos, flight logs, grand jury testimony, and a lot of heavy redactions.
As the spotlight grows harsher, questions are emerging, not just about Paris Hilton, but also Kim Kardashian, and whether they will finally be compelled to respond to their alleged roles in a narrative that was never meant to reach them until now. The first revelation didn't arrive with headlines or sirens. It slipped out quietly, buried deep within the latest batch of unsealed Epstein documents released only days ago under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Beyond the blacked-out sections and censored identities, something far more specific
Are never innocent.
As we've seen dozens of new photos we haven't seen before of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell with very high-profile people, celebrities, people like Mick Jagger and Michael Jackson, like you showed, also like British royalty and actors. All of that we sort of knew was happening. I want to highlight specifically two for the public interest, and that is President Clinton and President...
A reported connection linking Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's convicted associate and recruiter, to a very young Paris Hilton. This allegation didn't originate recently. It traces back to the 2020 documentary Surviving Jeffrey Epstein, where composer Christopher Mason claimed that Maxwell had allegedly taken notice of Hilton at an early 2000s social gathering, reportedly describing her as an ideal match for Epstein's interests. Hilton later brushed off the suggestion, stating she had no recollection of ever meeting Maxwell. But documented history complicates that denial. In September 2000, photographers captured images at the Anna Sui fashion show in New York showing Hilton, just 19 at the time, standing alongside Maxwell, with Donald Trump also present. That image isn't being framed.
They're mentally messed up. Mm-hmm. They're whether you got a $2 billion budget or you got a 200,000, everybody's done. They're going crazy. Suicidal.
There's proof on its own. It's being viewed as part of a broader sequence. And within the context of the Epstein network, recurring associations are rarely dismissed as random. In that world, repetition often signals intention, and patterns, once identified, demand scrutiny. What gives this development its real shock value isn't the photograph alone, it's the context surrounding it. By the time Paris Hilton was a teenager, the Hilton family was already firmly established within the same elite social ecosystems that Jeffrey Epstein was known to frequent. Her grandfather, Baron Hilton, stood as a powerhouse in the global hospitality world, someone whose financial reach and status granted access to the most exclusive rooms, events, and power networks. That influence didn't disappear with him. Paris's parents, Kathy and Rick Hilton, were regular figures within those same upper-tier circles, environments where influence outweighed accountability, and discretion was often...
Bar exam is 3 months away.
Do you feel nervous about the bar?
Yeah, I'm not ready yet. I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed.
What?
Someone from prison was like, this person put a hit out on your life.
That's better than the dog ate my home.
Valued more than truth. These were spaces where wealth, reputation, and unspoken agreements shaped outcomes behind closed doors. So when questions arise about how a young Paris Hilton may have crossed paths with Epstein's network, the explanation extends beyond Ghislaine Maxwell alone. Attention turns to the broader structure that normalized such proximity.
Oh, but we have a congressional act now to requiring the release, but they're going to say, you know what?
Subject to
Tom
redaction.
Hanks, it's unfair that he was mentioned
the
because he
law
was eating
says
Skittles.
subject to redaction.
Subject
to redaction.
And we all know what that means. That's to protect.
That's why I'm saying you will never be satisfied with what's released.
A structure reportedly reinforced by families who thrive within it. Now, with reports suggesting that federal investigators are re-examining these overlapping connections, the focus appears to be shifting. It's no longer solely about individual awareness. It's about responsibility, and whether those closest to her enabled access, exposure, or silence when it mattered most. But the narrative doesn't stop with Hilton. If there's one lesson repeatedly reinforced by the Epstein disclosures, it's that these...
Her, doesn't it? She probably wants to get out early. So I think that we have more digging to do. I think the DOJ transparency effort here is the right thing, but the reason it's on a Friday, Will, is I think there are no smoking guns. There's other places we have to look.
Well, Buck, you appropriate.
Controversies never exist in a vacuum. And as this story resurfaces, another highly combustible name has entered the frame, Kim Kardashian. Once closely associated, Hilton and Kardashian now appear to be positioned on opposite ends of a deeply personal and potentially legal standoff. According to insider claims circulating online, tensions between the two have been building quietly for years and may now be reaching a breaking point. Some reports allege that both women have been in contact with federal investigators.
There's too much circumstantial evidence that leads me to believe that it was an assassination. You know, I know a lot of people think that he committed. A lot of very smart people that I know think he committed. I'm like, there's too many convenient things. The cut wires, the security cameras rather not working. They weren't cut, right? They just stopped. They didn't function. Security cameras didn't function. Yeah. The fact that he had shared a cell with this giant former cop.
Not as collaborators, but as competing sources, each supposedly offering information that could implicate the other in an effort to shield themselves. This goes beyond gossip columns. If true, it suggests a calculated strategy. In environments shaped by the Epstein network, where trust can quickly become a liability and discretion holds enormous value, survival often hinges on deflection. The implication is stark. Staying ahead may mean ensuring someone else absorbs the fallout first. Kardashian's own proximity to controversy adds further complexity. While she has never been formally connected to Epstein in the same manner as